Welcome to another episode of Balance. I'm Daniel and this is Katie, and today we've got a pretty good new topic to talk about.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It was a request. Our first request came in.
I know, this is like
exciting.
we've got a bigger accountability this time to make this a really good episode because
True.
somebody asked for it.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, today we're going to be talking about time management. And I guess how we do it, some tips on how you can do it, and we'll just take it away.
So I think we do get this question quite a bit just because we've got 4 kids and a business and a lot of other stuff going on. So a lot of people wonder how we manage to do it all. The truth is we don't. I think a lot of wheels fall off throughout different parts of our day and our weeks. So don't feel bad if you see what we're doing on social media or wherever you're watching us and think that we're doing it all, because what we show you on social is usually all the positive stuff. Not to be negative, but
that's kind of the age-old social media illusion is you show people what you want them to see. But I think you're maybe not giving yourself or us enough credit.
No, I don't mean to be totally negative about it. No,
we're not ripping our hair out either, but definitely I think for those who have the picture of us, coming home to 4 kids who have already made dinner for us and getting them all to bed at a nice hour and getting 9 hours of sleep each, that's not what happens. No.
Yeah, but I think we can bring some tips and tricks to people's lives that hopefully will help them kind of just manage their time a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first thing that we've done, and it's something that I think we've always done in terms of especially when we're working on launching our brokerage and our business, was just the prioritization of the business and family over everything else. So a lot of times people will ask, have you watching this Netflix show, or what are you doing at night? What shows are you watching? And honestly, we don't. we prioritize working and getting the business up and running over some entertainment, I guess.
And part of it for us is those are a form of entertainment. I guess we've kind of morphed what our definition of entertaining is to a degree too.
Yes, something we're excited about.
Yeah, we're genuinely into the business and we genuinely want to see our children most of the time.
Yeah.
And so, even spending time with them, spending time in the business are things that we're looking forward to doing, so they don't feel like a chore.
Right, exactly.
Right? Which makes it easier to do.
Yeah. So I think just having that in mind, you're not going to be able to do everything that you want to do if you're going to spend 3 hours watching TV or on social media or whatever else you enjoy doing. That's fine. In some respects you do need to take breaks here and there, but at the end of the day I think it's important to make sure you've got your priorities straight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I don't remember the statistics, so I won't pretend I know the number, but we saw a speaker last year who was talking about social media and talking about the amount people use it. And it's no secret that everybody, ourselves included, are glued to that from time to time. We've talked about it on past episodes. But when he put the numbers on the average amount of time that people spend on Facebook, and I think it was just Facebook and Instagram that he was saying. You remember? I don't even remember who it was, but credit to him. Well, it was at the Buzz conference.
Oh, the Buzz conference.
Yeah. Oh, not the Buzz. Not the Buzz. We're going to the Buzz conference. We'll be there in 2 days. No, it was at the Rise conference.
Okay, no.
But anyway, that doesn't matter. But it was, it quantified down to that on average, people are spending, I think it was just shy of 3 hours a day on social media. And when you extrapolate that, it still sounds like a big number on a daily basis. But when you break that out over the course of the year, you're losing what amounts to more than a full month of work time. Just clicking and swiping and whatever.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't mean drop it, but it means drop that number.
Yes.
And I think maybe that's a no-brainer time management thing to people. And even if part of your business is social media,
which a lot of people's it is.
Yeah.
But produce the content, put it out there, and then get off.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly. And again, it's another form of entertainment, I guess. So like nothing that we say is meant to say, don't watch Netflix, don't go on YouTube, don't care what other people are posting on their feeds, but understand the trade-off that you're making. Do it. You need time for you, right? But understand that maybe a 3 hour a day trade-off into that is
little much.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, and these are things kind of like I think we're both kind of learning along the way as we create more focus in our own business. But one thing that I find really useful is just setting your intentions for the next day the night before. So knowing what you want to accomplish and writing all of that down. Big things, small things, and then
Medium-sized things.
But what I do, which I find really helpful, is I choose one or two things that I know are going to distract me the next day, so I'm aware of them and I'm not getting, like, I force myself not to get distracted with them as a result. And a lot of times social media is that top one on the list. So if I remind myself, you're going to get distracted today on Instagrams, the next day I'm like, all right, I got to stay off this, or I'm going to go down a rabbit hole for an hour while I watch everybody's stories.
And it's, with you, it's noticeable. Like when you've identified it, you make, like, I can tell the days that you've identified that for yourself, because you're a different person. You're just focused. You are, though. I mean, it's kind of, maybe because it's something we've started doing, or I haven't even done that same thing, but it's something you started doing. Maybe in time it'll become the new kind of habitual thing. But you can tell, like, I don't know if do you feel like you're getting more done with that approach?
Definitely.
Or at least, I guess, not up as late at night or whatever it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that's another thing that for me has started with getting to bed. And that's not even it impacts time management, but for me, I mean, I'll stay up and watch the late game, whatever it is, or whatever, or the 11 o'clock news or something. Makes me feel old. The 11 o'clock news. Get my slippers and my paper and my Chesterfield. My pipe. But I mean, when you do that, you either sacrifice sleep you need to be fresh the next day, or you're sacrificing whatever that first thing in the morning is, whether it's working out or whether it's being at all useful, getting the kids ready for school. So,
or just in the day, like I find if I don't get enough sleep the night before, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm crashing. And I'm just so unproductive.
And it makes such a difference to get to bed. And I used to be, I don't feel like there's been a role reversal, sort of, but I used to be the one who was up working late, because that's when I was at my most productive. I'm out of gas now. Like, you need to be able to recognize when you're out of gas is another thing, just to be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to put forward my best product right now because I've got one eye half closed.
Right.
So when that happens, you're probably better off getting to bed and waking up early and doing it before breakfast.
It's true.
Right. So that's.
And I think, something I've said before is, if you set your priorities, the main priorities in your life, and know those ahead of time and have them in order. So like, health is number one for me, family is number two, and business is number three. So that's and it's something that I'm still kind of struggling within myself to figure out, but I know that if it's between sleep and work late at night, like 10:30 at night, I'm like knocking out a few emails, and I'm like, I have to stop myself, because my health and sleep is rank higher than getting an email off.
Health and sleep.
Health and
sleep. Is sleep.
Sleep is health.
Sleep is health.
Sleep is health. No, but it's true, because you're not going to be at your best self the next day if you stay up late and probably are at like a middle capacity, whereas when you wake up in the morning, you're rearing to go.
One of us is. One of us is.
Yeah, you're getting there though.
Well, I mean, I find now that I wake up before 6. By 7 now, I have the energy that I used to have at 8.
Right.
So my first hour is always a write-up. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, but if I can
get to the
get
gym.
up and So like, the people see my worst self when I'm at the gym. They're the ones who get to experience misery me.
For sure.
But that's okay.
That's all right.
It means I'm good for the kids. So I think another thing is, time management. It is about management. It's not time dominance. You don't need to be, and this is similar to our business planning that we've talked about, you don't need to be doing everything and knocking every home run out of the park, because if you focused on that with your time, you'll feel like you're not getting anything done, and you won't get anything done because you're going to start a million things and maybe not finish any of them, or rush through them so you don't do the best job. I think if you are able to organize yourself and tackle each thing one at a time in a logical order, in a prioritized order, you'll feel more accomplished. And frankly, the things that are prioritized last, there's a reason, right? So if you don't get to them today or whenever, they weren't the most important thing to begin with, and maybe now they shift to the top of the list for tomorrow, or maybe they're still not as important as the important thing tomorrow. So people need to have a recognition of not needing to just destroy everything on the list, right? You need to be able to be a little bit realistic and be aware of your own capacity as well, because you can't do everything, especially when you're an entrepreneur. Your plate is always full, right? And I'm not even just talking about business, but like with us, you know, whether it's kids programs, like today alone, you know, the car broke down yesterday. We woke up to a cord hanging out the side of some cable that had never been seen before, and if you go to our Instagram or whatever, you'll see the alarm that was sounding while we drove everywhere. It was annoying. So that had to be worked in. You've got to set contingency aside for the stuff that happens. And so this morning was the car dealership instead of the office. And such is life, right? But it's because that was more important. Things happen, big things happen in people's lives where you can put anything aside. So
exactly, and you can't beat yourself up over it either. It's hard because you know you kind of go into a day wanting to accomplish so much, and it's so great to cross off all those things off your list. It feels so good, but there's some days where you barely cross anything off, and you got to just forgive yourself and realize you tried your best and stuff got in the way, and that's just the way life goes.
Tomorrow's another day.
Prioritizing things also in the morning is something that I found is really effective. Like the big goal setting type activities that you want to get done, like those bigger projects that you're trying to work away at, are the things that I find if I get those done in the morning first thing versus going to my email, checking my Facebook, like that was what I used to do, and it just didn't set me up the right way. So now if I can focus on the bigger things in the morning where I'm most alert and wanting to do it, and then slowly, you know, slow down over the day with more mundane administrative tasks if I have to do them, then that's reserved for the end of the day.
It feels a lot like school when you've got homework and you've got, you know, the big project that gets assigned 3 weeks in advance, and then you've got every day a little assignment, and you do those without ever paying any attention to the big assignment, and then it's the day before and you're like, oh crap.
I know.
Treat everything in your life the same way. Like that was supposed to be teaching us lessons that I guess none of us, I mean, maybe somebody out there has learned it, but I was not the person to work on it until it needed to be worked on. But even now with our kids, you know, they've got things and they'll come home and say the same thing. What does that do for 2 weeks? You know what? You'll feel a lot better if you do 10% of it, you know, each day for the next 10 days.
And treat your big goals like mini assignments, like break them down, and then like every week knock off one of those little things that you need to get done. I think that helps you just focus a lot better and make you realize that you can actually accomplish the bigger things. You're not going to just set it aside.
Well, that's what it's all about.
And then from like not so much from a work perspective, but I think just living life and having kids perspective, I think if you can try to create efficiencies in pretty much every activity that you do, it makes a big difference. So for example, getting all your groceries in one swoop in the week, like planning your meals out. This is something that I always like to do. I don't necessarily always get to, but when I do, it sets us up right for the beginning of the week. So Sunday, plan out the meals, order everything. We usually just pick everything up from Walmart on Monday night when we're coming home from work, and we have all the groceries, pick up the kids. That's a good thing. One example from this weekend is we just went to Chapters. Our daughter had a birthday party. She got a gift card, so she wanted to go there and see what she could get. And while we were there, we knew our youngest had a birthday party in a couple of weeks, so let's get the present there, you know? So try to like combine a bunch of tasks into one outing, especially when you're out with the kids, because I don't know about you, but I don't particularly enjoy going to a mall on a busy Saturday with 4 kids. So if you can try to, you know, minimize those opportunities, those tasks, it makes a big difference.
And on the same lines, also synergies between different things you have to do to make them work together. So I mean, that's similar to what you were saying in that, you know, you try to knock off several birds with one stone if you can. But I mean, things like and everybody's circumstances are different, but things like we know our kids have a PA day coming up this Friday, and we have, I guess, the fortune to have an infrastructure here where we can do something about it, but we're creating a PA day camp here where other people can bring their kids, but it's also at the same time giving us a place to bring our kids while we can still be in our business and keep doing work. And that applies to everything. You never know when there's certain things, even between different clients you're working with or different marketing approaches, try to find ways to make different things you're doing logically work together. And that hopefully, maybe you find more efficiencies that way, but it gets more things done in an organized way. Hopefully.
So like even before you go to the grocery store, stop before you get into the car and just take an inventory. It's like, okay, I need soap, I need toilet paper. Like there's always something extra that you need. So if you can minimize those like one-off trips to the grocery store, that makes a huge difference as well, or any store.
I think the theme of all of this is discipline. Like whether it's going to the grocery store, like how many people have gone to Costco with like one or two things I need to buy, and then you come out with a cart, like a second cart, right? Or you go to IKEA for that one thing and you come out with whatever, impulse purchases. But the same thing goes for everything. When you've got things you need to do, and whether it's social media or whether it's something, there's distractions, and the world is built on trying to get your attention to something else, right? You've got to be disciplined for what it is you set out to do. And whether that's taking stock of it each day and saying, where am I at during the day, or at the end of the day, say, how did I do? Right? Or like you said at the beginning, plot out what the plan is. You need to be able to do that and stick to it. And if you can be disciplined, you're going to manage your time just fine.
Discipline, and just realizing how good it feels when you actually accomplish what you set out to accomplish that day. It makes a huge difference. It's like when you're working out, you might hate doing it while you're doing it, but afterwards you feel so much better. So just think of it in terms of that, and I think it'll motivate you just to push through.
And leave enough pockets during your day and after your day that you really don't have anything planned. Don't plan out every minute of your day. Because we all know.
Well, I think it depends on the person.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're one of those people that needs to account for every minute, the moment you go over on anything, that kind of person will also feel overwhelmed and like, now I've failed. Now what do I do? Right? So if that's how you're planning your day, it's great. Everyone's got a ton of things to do, but again, try to pull back, have some priorities, because things are also going to come up, right? This podcast, for example, we would have wanted to record it yesterday. Right? But
it didn't work out.
Car exploded, and our son's nose was, gushing blood for an hour.
Broken,
So things are more important.
It's like it's a disaster at home.
We set our house on fire. No. But that's the thing. But it's just kind of. I think when people ask us, how do you do it? How do you do it? There's no magic formula. It's just take it as it comes. Don't overwhelm yourself.
Don't dwell.
Don't
on the crap that comes your way, because you could do a lot of time sucking that way.
Right. Well, that's it. Like we haven't. I've talked about the car twice because it's fresh, but this isn't something that's even been a topic of conversation. It happened. Crap. We'll drop it off tomorrow. We'll pick it up at the end of the day. Done. Right.
And get drama out of your life.
I thought you were going to say get drunk.
Well, every once in a while, get drunk. But seriously, drama can just suck the life out of you, suck all of the hours out of your day if you're focused on what other people are doing and what people are doing to you and saying about you, or whatever drama is happening. Everybody's got drama.
Everybody talks, and you don't have to be a part of it.
No, and it's something that's really hard to give up. I still struggle. I think everybody struggles with it, but if I know, okay, don't get involved because it's gonna waste my time and it's gonna waste my energy and my emotions. Obviously there's certain things that you do need to be involved in, but for the most part, if it's drama, I try to stay away from that.
Have an opinion, be involved in things.
It depends on what kind of drama it is.
But
if it's I'm just saying if it's like a best friend or something, obviously you don't want to just ignore the fact.
That's it. Don't say listen, you're not fitting into my schedule for the day, so I'm sorry, you got dumped or whatever. But on the same token, be selective. You know what's important and what's not, or what's more important than other things and what can wait.
Yeah.
And it all goes back to the same thing. Just be
Yeah.
disciplined, understand your limitations,
Yeah.
and make
your priorities.
And that's it. Make the minutes count, because at the end of the day, the people who feel like they didn't get anything done are the ones who have been distracted. And you feel like the same way you said, you feel great when you get things done.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite when the day ends and you're like,
yeah,
all these things I should have done and I didn't.
Right. Well, yeah, but at the same time, I feel like you especially are very hard on yourself when it comes to the end of the day, and you're like, oh, I didn't get anything done. And it's like, but if you look back to actually see what you did.
Well, that's when, like you said, when you write it down.
Yeah.
Or when, because I had a list at the beginning of the day today, and I'm a good 60% of the way through. If my day ended right now, it's not a failure of a day.
Right. No, I know, but you can't define your day as everything that you got checked off. It's more just how you got through the day emotionally and just
fragile. I got through the day very fragilely.
No, but there's ups and downs and
you know what, there's going to be things, because the nature of business, there's stuff that needs to be done, and if I get those things done, then I'm happy, then everything else is gravy, right? But it's picking the right gravy.
Yeah. Well, and I can tell you definitely from experience that if you're picking the things that are going to move your business in the right direction, so those mini assignments that we all hate, the big goal, but just get those little assignments out of the way every single week. Honestly, you will feel like your business is actually moving in the right direction. And
that's the difference, because the last year we were getting a lot done, and a lot of it was good, but when you go back to our goal setting and business planning and all that, we didn't take the right time to establish the right direction. So a lot of the stuff we were getting done wasn't feeling as good, because it really wasn't accomplishing what we should have been focused on, right? Yeah. So it's the marriage between setting your priorities and having an understanding of what's reaching your goals, and getting that stuff done, not just getting things done you want to get done. Right. So hopefully that is a good little primer for those of you that have a lot going on in your lives. I think we'd be naive if we didn't think that everybody. That's another thing too, is you never know with other people what's going on in their lives, right? A lot of people, like we said, with social media, they put on a face that everything's great. Be aware, if you're expecting other people to subscribe to your time management and you want them to get things done on your watch, your urgency is not the same as their urgency. And there's often a good reason for that. It's not because they have bad time management skills. It might be because you're not as much a priority to them as they are to you, or that the project is to you. But you do you, right? You can only control what you're doing, and you deal with what comes of that, right? And the more you focus on doing the right stuff for yourself and getting the things done that you are prioritizing, the better off you're going to be. Yeah. Agreed. Full stop. That's it. Scene. Snap. Oh, that was good. You like that? Yeah. So anyway, we didn't ask anybody in the beginning of this episode, but make sure you subscribe. Yeah. Keep following us. And keeps more importantly, is sending us questions. Oh my gosh, it's I feel like it's just the content we put out there is so important, but knowing that we're actually helping even if it's just one person, with their time management skills, then I feel like this has been a good podcast. And tell us your stories, that's it. And it doesn't even have to be through this. Just reach out. You know how to find us. It's great. We love that somebody asked us to talk about this today. So we haven't yet set next week. So if you have an idea, let us know. We're happy to talk about pretty much anything. That's pretty much. I don't know. And I think this might actually be our new permo set right now, the cute grass wall, and we're a little closer to each other, but far enough away that we can't smell your breath. No. It was. We got the what's it called? TheraBreath. The TheraBreath. So we're good. That's true. But yeah. Okay. My breath is fine. Well, thanks for tuning in again this week, and we will see you again next week. Bye. Goodbye.